Just my people, as it is hot, it don't happen. Oh. Peter Obi has finally declared that he will be running for 2027 presidential election, and now this prominent obedient person don't talk say Peter Obi will be able to tackle the insecurity in Nigeria. Please listen to this video. If you are obedient, please kindly hit this like button, share this video, because Peter Obi is coming. Where is coming? Watch, share, and drop your thoughts in the comment section.
There are many benefits with a Peter Obi presidency. One thing we know is that a Peter Obi presidency is not the first thing he said he's going to tackle within the first 100 days, and he said it very emphatically even recently, would be to tackle the menace of insecurity in Nigeria, to ensure that we have better education, better healthcare for the people of Nigeria. Peter Obi's presidency is one that we should understand will be very people-centered, because he's very big on human capital development. Without human capital development, Nigeria cannot thrive without being educated. For example, you might have a talent in something. We see it happen a lot at the time where people open up businesses. But because they're not properly educated, especially in terms, for example, finance, you see that they have issues, there are glitches, you cannot crunch those numbers properly. So he's very big on education, he's very big on ensuring that the Nigerian people themselves develop themselves educationally so that we can thrive as a country. If we're not educated, it's almost impossible for us to do well. If we don't have, he even said it, that the first thing he will hit the ground running and doing will be ensure that Nigerians are secure, the lives of Nigerians, the businesses of Nigerians are secure. Without security, many of the things that we want to do as a country will be almost impossible.
Now, do you believe, I'm just wondering, Nana, do you believe a one-term presidency can actually allow Peter Obi to implement significant reforms without being beholden to political pressures associated with seeking re-election?
I'm sorry, Temitope, I didn't hear you properly.
I was wondering if you believe a one-term presidency, is enough time for Peter Obi to implement significant reforms without, falling under the pressure, the political pressure associated with seeking re-election.
You see, if Nigerians do not trust, this is what he said to us when we asked him this question. He said, it's about his integrity as a person. It's about the legacy that he wants to leave behind. If somebody like President Tinubu, which I must say personally, now politics aside, I am quite disappointed that he's not been able to, take the reins of this country. If Nigerians have a distrust in the word of politicians, it's not by virtue of anything Mr. Peter Obi has done. It's because of the history, unfortunately, the very abusive, so that's why there's a lot of mistrust between Nigerians and what her political leaders tell her. One thing we know that a Peter Obi presidency will give us is that institutions will not be run by strong men. We will have stronger institutions. And that's where this is what I want to say. I've said it before on this same platform. If Mr. Peter Obi is the president of Nigeria come 2027, after the elections, and he does well by 2031, trust and believe that it will be Nigerians themselves that would be asking for him to continue. But if Tinubu's government can do so woefully in just 2 years, then it tells you how much time, it tells you what can be done in the same period of time by a man who is determined to serve the people, to serve the country, and to redirect and retool the minds of Nigerians towards a better country. So yes, I believe that a one-term, if he says that's what he's going to do, it is what he's going to do. He's a man of his word. People see Mr. Peter Obi as someone he's calm, he's very circumspect in what he does, but he's also very firm. And so, yes, if he says he will run for one term, I do not know that that's what's on the table yet. But he did say that if that's what is put on the table, and if he says he's going to run for one term, then so be it. That's what he'll do. And we do trust and believe that that's exactly what he'll do.
And just to hammer the point in one more time, I know you said that 2 years was enough or 4 years was enough to dismantle a system, but with one term, does it really provide Peter Obi the fair chance to implement any of the transformative changes that the party might envision, also knowing that there is a lot of uphill battle and resistance against his presidency, his candidacy, etc.? Is that enough time?
4 years is enough time. Nigerians have been through so much, and when you have the people behind you, when you are focused, when you say that you're going to tackle criminality, we know that a presidency with Peter Obi, we're not going to have budgets that are being padded unnecessarily. So yes, it's enough time. We already know that a presidency with Peter Obi is not going to use 39 billion naira, for example, to renovate the ICC. He's going to ask, what can 39 billion naira do in healthcare, primary healthcare? What will 39 billion naira do if we split it into three? 10 billion in education, for example, healthcare, and what can it do with security, to tackle the matters of insecurity? He has said that he's going to make sure that he tackles corruption head on. He's going to make sure that, he's going to cut down the cost of governance. He's not going to be flying. In your presentation, you talked about how he critiqued the Nigerian taxpayers' money has gone into traveling out of the country, and we've not seen the results. The president has traveled over 40 times out of Nigeria, and Nigerians still have not seen those results. It's just, promises. This we will. What we want is somebody who's going to sit down and get to work. You hear, the monies are going to, the local governments are receiving better, more money coming to them. But I'm not aware, they should show us the bank accounts where local governments have started to receive these monies. And as long as the Supreme Court judgment is not followed and there's a delay, then it begins to undermine the positioning of even our Supreme Court judgments. So much is going, awry in this country, and we're just sitting down like sitting ducks and we're watching. Come 2027, it's going to be the Nigerian people who are tired against this administration. We sit down and we look, why are they so quick to foreclose on opposition? You see them celebrating that people are coming to join their party. You don't see them sitting down with the people who are killed and maimed, people whose livelihoods are destroyed on a daily basis in this country. You don't see, that's what we should be talking about. The Nigerian person, the Nigerian people. Hawa, I'd like to ask a question. When last did you go to the market and you didn't feel like you were being robbed? Because your list, you went to the market, you probably purchased something for 100 naira, and as of today, it's already 500 naira. One careless comment on the day of President Tinubu's inauguration put us, today, inflation is not something that you just see people discussing on television only. It's right here in our faces. It's right, people can hardly live. On Saturday, I was with an old secondary school mate of mine. She was my senior in secondary school, and she said to me, she's an assistant director. She earns about 240,000 naira. She says it's not enough to even fuel her car in a month to get her to work. That's why I'm saying that it will be the Nigerian people against this APC administration, because the hardship is too much. One thing I also do know is that
sorry, allow me to interrupt. So I'll just like to take us back a bit. You talked about trust, and you said Peter Obi is a man of integrity and you trust him. But there's one person, that seems to be disagreeing with him publicly, and that is former presidential aide Reno Omokri, who says the North should not back Peter Obi for the 2027 election, that Peter Obi would not keep his promise. He also published an email that he believes shows Peter Obi lobbying Atiku Abubakar to be his running mate in 2019. And, he has threatened to publish more documentary evidence. I would just like you to react to that.
You see, Reno Omokri is somebody that I would ordinarily, if you didn't bring him up, he's somebody that I would not even want to talk about. This same person was the one that went around. Did he not have a protest in the UK that Tinubu should not run? What is it he even did? He was all over the place in the UK, running up and down, calling Tinubu a drug lord. There's nothing he hasn't said about President Tinubu. So why should I expect that he wouldn't come? He's singing for his new paymasters. Why would I expect that he wouldn't come for a Peter Obi? Why would I expect him not to say? He said so many things about so many people. So why are we having this discussion? Please, let's talk about, I'd rather, when every minute, every second that I have, I've always said this and I will still reiterate this, is to talk about Peter Obi, not to talk about distractions like Mr. Reno Omokri.
Fair enough.
If Mr. Peter Obi lobbied in 2019, thank you very much. It's not a conversation that I think I should spend any time on.
Exactly. Let's talk about the joint ticket.